The in Old Saxon Explained. Old Saxon is a historical language from the 9th to the 12th century. It's a historical language that did not undergo standardization. So essentially, there wasn't a time in the time of Old Saxon that, oh, okay, well, we're going to write down this language, and this is what our language is going to be, and this is what our language is. So that process did not happen due to its historical context and what happened. The attitude I would recommend towards Old Saxon is that one should have that it's a dialect of dialects, that anyone's take on the language would be their own variety of Old Saxon. So everyone would have proverbially their own idiolect, their own dialect of Old Saxon, because there are many forms of the same word, which I'll go into later in this video. So we're of the descriptivist position towards language, therefore seeing things as they are, contrasting to the prescriptivist position of language, which is the mode of imposing what ought to be for all, i.e. a standard. What is the standard? This is a variety of speech that is upheld, let's say, by the state, or what is taught in schools. This is the variety that everyone goes by. And however, the nuance here is that with the prescriptivist position towards a standard and having a standard, is that any deviation from the standard is considered wrong and incorrect. As I said before, there are many forms for the same word, even for definite articles such as the word the in Old Saxon, but in the case of English, we only have one form, and that's pretty simplified of itself. But for historical languages, there are many forms for the same word because, again, Old Saxon did not undergo standardization. Yes, there are many forms, but which forms to use when using Old Saxon? Well, there are 3 ways to go about this. I mean, you could go by the mode of frequency, how often X form is used. You could go by the one that's most popular or the one that's least popular or something in between. That's up to you. Or you can choose by phonological connection to an older variant which connects to other cognates that have a similar form, or in the other direction, you can choose a form that's more phonologically connected to what came later. Or simply, you can choose by preference. Again, this is a language, you can play with it, so to speak. Whether you use this form or that form, it's still part of the language, though it may look quite distinct in some ways to other writers of Old Saxon, but I mean, we're here to have fun with the language, right? So preference is another way of going about it. Or some people may have a preference because they want to be period specific. They want to be very specifically, let's say, the 9th century. They want 9th century spellings. Okay, well, that's a preference of itself. So they would go accordingly to that. In the nominative masculine singular, we have the following. We have the, the, se, thea, thea, they. So here are the variants. I put the one in bold here because apparently that's the one that's most popular among the nominative masculine singular for the. So here we have the accusative masculine singular. Plenty of here to choose from. We have than, thana, thane, then, thene, thenne, thena. Then the thing is, with the AE ligature, or if you could call it ash, this could either represent an a sound or an I sound. It's either or depending on the variance of spelling here. So you could pronounce this as thena or thene. Moving on, thiena, thane. I put thana in bold here because according to Holthausen, that thana tends to be the more popular one, the one that prevails, so to speak. For the masculine singular genitive, very simple, we just have simply this. So here we have the dative masculine / neuter singular. So we have plenty to choose from here. We've got themo, themo, them, themo, tham, thamo, then, thiem, thiemo. Of course, AE ligature, or if you will, ash. This could be an E or an A sound, depending on your choice. Tham, than. For the nominative and accusative neuter singular, we have that and thit. For the genitive neuter singular, we have thes, thas, and theis. For the instrumental neuter singular, we simply have theo. For the nominative feminine singular, we have theo and thea. Next, we have the accusative feminine singular, which shares the same forms as the nominative accusative masculine feminine plural. I know that's a mouthful, but if you were to pause the video and analyze what we're looking at here, then it'll start to make sense. So, and the following forms are thea, thea, the, thea, tha, thi, and the. However, Holthausen does have this form, the final form, in his paradigm, but he doesn't have it in his remarks, which I find quite interesting. So is it attested? I don't know, but I'm going. However, I am going to take Holthausen's word on it because he has the long form, the. He has a long form there, the, in his paradigm. And the thing is, he also says that the plural nominative accusative different articles for the feminine take after the masculine. So, I mean, which is interesting of itself. But there are other variants to consider, and these are the other variants. And yeah, so you do have some overlap in Old Saxon here. So here we have the genitive feminine singular. So it's thera, thero, thero. Dative feminine singular, we have thera, thero, thero, and finally there. So for the nominative accusative neuter plural, you could take theo or thea. The genitive plural, we have thero, thera, theru, there, and tharo. So of these variants, thero, according to Holthausen, tends to be the one that prevails otherwise. So for the dative plural, we have simply theme, thean, thiem, theen, and than. And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you are new. And if you really like the channel, please become a patron at my Patreon page down below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.